Hey everyone, this is Karen Waksman, founder of Retail MBA, and today we're going to be talking about some of the key challenges you're going to have when selling to retail chains. So if you have a great product that's perfect for retail chains and you're concerned about selling them, here are some key challenges and some things to think about to help you move along and just get started selling to them. With that said, let's get started on today's training. So let's talk about the key challenges when selling to retail chains. Are probably one of the most exciting places to sell your product because a lot of people know about you, many millions of dollars to your business and your bottom line, but people are always nervous about selling a retail chain. So I wanted to create this particular video just to give you some things to think about, some of the challenges, so that you can maybe think about whether or not this is the right opportunity for you, but also just what's going to come up for you with selling to retail chains. So first of all, a retail chain is a retailer that has, I would say, 50 or more stores they're responsible for. They have major buying power. We're looking for those types of retailers that really can make you a lot of money very quickly. That's why I started in the business, because I like making money very quickly. And I could sell to individual stores, but why not go to one store and who have lots of stores and talk to one person and make as much money as possible? That's definitely an advantage. But some of the challenges in selling retail chains is you need your manufacturing in place really well done. You can't just go to a manufacturer on Alibaba and then just say, woohoo, we're going to work together, without you testing and making sure they're delivering correctly and properly. They're not making mistakes. Their packaging looks as good as they say. I've seen time and time again where people come with the most brilliant plans, find a manufacturer, get so excited, and then they're killing their deals. They're making mistakes all over the place. You need to test these guys out. Make sure with the chain stores, you don't want to test it out with a chain store. It could backfire. Retailers at chains, retail buyers at chain stores get very cranky if you're late, if you make mistakes, if it doesn't show up correctly. A lot of times these buyers will find out who your manufacturer is just to make sure they're not doing terrible things behind the scenes with children or whatever, and also to make sure that you can handle their mass quantity. So a challenge would be ensuring that your manufacturing is really in place when you really don't have a lot of control over that, except for testing, which sucks. Sometimes you guys really just want to make money today, and excuse my language, but you really understand that is a problem, a real challenge if your manufacturing isn't there, because they actually grade you at retail chains. They'll grade you as a manufacturer if you're not getting it done. Another key challenge when selling to retail chains is most of you just don't know how to do it. You don't know how to sell these buyers. You can't get them to call you back or follow up with you or anything. I have a client that we're working with, and they have great product. They're selling a ton online, but with themselves, but they want to sell to stores. Their pricing is completely too expensive for a chain store, and they can't fix it. And we had so much trouble with the retailers, and we had to work on it repeatedly to get the pricing right. And that is a key challenge for those of you who are trying to sell to retail chains, and you are just, you're partially, to blame. You're not fixing the things that are actually going to get the difference between you making a fortune or not, or you just can't, or you don't have it set up correctly. So basically what it comes down to is when you're working with retail chains and sometimes you just don't have things set up correctly, it does backfire, like pricing. It is a very important thing for a lot of retailers that you get the pricing correct, and that can be a challenge. The final thing I'll say about a challenge with retail chains is that you need to figure out your packaging and actually make it exciting enough for someone to buy. And some of you don't know how to do that. It's really stressful, right? You're really nervous about working with chain stores because of your packaging, as you should, because someone's not picking up your product. They're picking up your packaging first. That's the difference between you making a fortune or not. So the bottom line answer is you really need to get your packaging on point. And sometimes you make packaging and then you go to someone like us and then we're like, sorry, but you're going to have to change it because it's not going to work for the buyer. Maybe it's too big, too small, awkwardly shaped, not the correct thing. There's a lot of things that you can tweak and get it done right the first time, which could be the difference between you going to stores this year versus say next, and or saving a lot of money in the process. Those are some challenges, right? The good news is we have a core training system called Retail MBA, which explains every single detail of how to avoid challenges with retail chains. There's a lot of things that can happen to you along the way, and we try to tell you it all in advance so that you don't have to have any challenges. That's what we do. That is the entire premise of Retail MBA, which is a training system and coaching system that I dreamed of because I was looking for something like that for so many years before I ended up creating it, because I was like, this is crazy that no one's explaining how to do this, and all I wanted to do was sell products to stores. So if you want to learn more, go to retailmba.com. Otherwise, I can tell you endless challenges, but what I can tell you is we've provided a solution for every challenge that could come your way. And we'd love to explain in further detail. Karen Waksman, Retail MBA. Hope this helped.